quick as a flash. He has hit his forehand beautifully all week.
That footwork is unbelievably how quick he gets around the court. Particularly runs around that backhand to hit the forehand.
So these sort of crazy shots are the shots that you need to be teaching beginners, intermediates, children, or adults to open up their whole imagination. But with professionals, it's a delicate job. We've got career at stake, so the best thing is to concentrate on one thing at a time. So you're looking for the shot or tactic that is going to help the pro the most.
Intermediates need to have everything thrown at them at the start to get the big picture and to prevent any crippling bad habits from developing. E.g. having only one grip for all types of forehands.
They need to know that there are a million different grips for each shot so that their tennis in the future isn't restricted. Worst thing that can be done is say that there's one grip for a forehand and one grip for a backhand, etc. The only exception to this is if a pro is willing to take a few months off and clear up a bunch of things. That's how I dealt with Pat Cash and Greg Rosetsky, who sort of crashed with injuries in their game. It's absolutely vital that beginners and intermediates learn the grips first. This is Brad's clock. You see interesting relationships, the high backhand volley going across down to the forehand volley. In other words, there's a relationship between the grips and radius of opposite radii. This information is also vital to help you when you're coaching the pro, when you're spying on the opposition, his next match or her next match. For example, if he is using a forehand grip for all his volleys, then he's going to have trouble with high backhand volleys and low forehand volleys. He's also going to have trouble hitting backhand volleys down the line, and he's going to have trouble hitting forehand volleys cross court. Very useful information for your professional. You can see the top and the bottom one shows you the relationship between the service grips and the shots between the legs. Shortly we'll be getting on to the business with Nadal. This is the first of a series of 50. I'm going to do the top 50 players for you. It's important that you get this difference now, and then you'll understand more as things go on. The simple way of explaining this is that if you don't teach the massive grips, it makes it very difficult for a beginner intermediate in the future. And if you teach a pro much too much, it makes it harder and harder for you to help them.
Okay, back to our pros, and this error by Nadal on the backhand I don't count. I call that a forehand win by Federer. Keep those points in mind. So you start to build up something like this. This is service 1 up the top there, deuce wide. Service 1, add court into the net, backhand, towards the backhand.
The statistics are pretty much useless if you don't get the low forehand and in the net with long cross court and so forth, and same for the backhand serve. You've got to know absolutely every detail, otherwise you'll miss the main point. What you're looking for is to bring all these little details into one big loud message, and then you can find a hunt for something else in the next match to work on.
You need to get every detail. That forehand winner from Federer is an inside out, waist side forehand. You need to know at the end of the match whether it's a low forehand or a cross court or high. Everything, you need to get exactly every detail. Now this one here, we've got a volley winner, which I don't count because it's just way too easy. He gets in on the forehand, a combination of a good forehand and Nadal's bad backhand cross court.
In this way you can formulate a nice, clear, focal point that's easy to understand for the professional. And you can see we've got all kinds of things. You might have to look up over this in your own time, but you'll see it, service wide, so forth, the forehand. Send me an email if you don't quite follow it. And you always put things in graphs because the numbers scattered everywhere just drive me crazy. And I found that the backhand slice error was not giving me anything important to worry about. Look, we're only looking for one thing, remember. And so gradually I eliminated everything except the serve. So we're now down to the serve is the thing that we need to help Nadal with. And you can see this is the difference between aces and errors, and you can see almost a set score. First set 6-3 Federer, 3-6 Nadal the second. Federer's got more errors. 6-1 the third set, and even the total games. It's just very, very, very helpful when you crack it like this. Now, an important thing you might have noticed in the graph where I've knocked things off, it's just got service errors. It hasn't got service error net or wide. So at this point, I'm just trying to simplify, just have a look at it from a sort of more of an outside point of view. I don't really trust it, but it just helps me just have a look at what I can eliminate. The more I can simplify it, the easier it gets, the less time you're doing work. So let me see if I can spot something out. So you can see on the forehand errors that over the match, Federer is the one that's made actually something like twice as much errors. So he's won the match. So well, that's just going to confuse the heck out of us. And the rest of it's looking. The sets themselves are looking pretty much, you know, neither here nor there. The worst example, of course, the backhand slice. It's all around the 1s and 2s scores or 0, and there's just nothing going on there. So that's how you got to be careful. Go through it carefully, and because you can sometimes miss that. You know, get the colours mixed up. But yeah, and just remember that you know, to look at each set and also to look at the total. Look at the score of each set. Like the second set's really not helpful. Nadal won that set, and we're not really concerned with that. And this has put the errors in the negative and the negative score, and the winners into the positive score, and just showing this Federer. You can see why he won the first set. He's got more winners than errors because there's nothing under that yellow in the first set, and only errors in the second set. That explains why he lost that, but we're trying to forget about that second set. Federer's got winners, and much more winners compared to errors in the third set, which was 6-1. We expect that. And look at the errors of Nadal. So probably we're going to find that the serve's going to crop up in that third set. And that's a huge difference there with, Federer's got 15 positive and Nadal's got 10 negatives on that total match. So we're zooming in on what we wanted. We're getting the kind of results. If you get a confusing result, start all over again. Sometimes you've got to be a little bit firm but kind, and Nadal and Federer don't have a great record on their serves. They're not known for that, although maybe amateurs watching think they must have, because they're top couple in the world, but that's not true. And sometimes you've just got to show them some hard facts about what the top servers are doing. How many aces are they throwing down a match? And you can see that Karlovic is averaging in a year 23 aces a match. Federer is averaging about 13. Nadal's averaging about 10. So they both need a bit of help. And although Federer actually does better than his average of 13 in this particular match, you can see that Rosetsky, Ivanisevic, Philippoussis and Sampras are all about the same. Karlovic's a bit of a freak at the moment. And I've put my own little grade there as excellent being around them, very good just below them, and average, and you can see where I've got poor, and we've got Federer just above poor and Nadal just below poor. That really ties up to what we've found that we're going to help Nadal with. Also, what I said about being firm but kind is that, if he feels a bit upset about changing something here and there, just show him the graph. What do you want? You want to stay at number 1 or number 2 forever, or do you want to gradually slide back down? They are not known for their serves. They've got lots of other things in the game. They have to, don't they? So keep that in mind. So now I'm spreading it all out again, and you can see instead of the service wide, the service winners and aces, I've now got it right, spread out. See down the bottom there, I've got serve, error, ad court, going out wide to Federer's backhand, and hit's gone wide. So he's had 1 in the first set and 1 in the second set. The gold one, a little trickery, just put the gold one there for the ones that showed on the graphs much more significance than the others, and a little bit of very, very significant on the yellow one, but more on the gold. Now I've cut them all to pieces again. Yes, we're zeroing in, and just for example, you can see why I've eliminated a lot of them and kept these particular details. Look at the set 1, Nadal had 3 winners on the deuce court, going wide and successfully. Federer 9 in the first set, so it's 1-5 in the set 3. You can see I've thrown out set 2, and now we go back. You can see we'll just pick a couple out. There's one service on the ad court to the tee in the net. Federer's got 0-0-0 and Nadal's got 1-0-0. So that's why we threw that one out. And here's the graph left of our favourites. And now we can zoom in. We see that Nadal's problems are on the deuce court and the ad court into the net. Okay, so we're getting close now. This is getting real fun. We've got Nadal's got less winners on the deuce court going wide and on the ad court going to the tee. And Nadal's got more errors into the net at on the deuce tee. If you have a look at your own time at those graphs, you'll see we've got the significant ones at the end there. There's your little, just in case you're sure, just a little bit of graphics. So not enough winners there. Just we've got it showing it on the court. Get our head straight. And not enough winners here. It's Nadal is not getting enough winners down the tee on the ad court. And there's too many errors in the net down the GST court. Now, I think I failed to mention that the long and the net are the same because it's a balance thing or can be a grip thing. I'll explain that later, but I packaged the net and long into the same bundle. Okay, you need to start with the errors first. So we're going to look at the deuce T area. You're going into the net, long as well, which is the same. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Now, it is significant. You can see the negative columns and feeling pretty happy that we're getting somewhere now. Balance is what causes balls to go into the net or long. Position causes things to go skew if wide one way or the other. So it's a little bit like if you're lying on your back, you'd have trouble serving down into the court, and if you're lying on your front, you'd have trouble serving up. Also, the grip can cause problems. If you hold a forehand grip up, you get service grip up in the air and turn it to a forehand, you'll see you have to move your racket further in front, and you're going to push the ball long, and you overcompensate. It's going to go into the net. And conveniently, to explain what we're discovering is that serve is a little bit shorter than the serve out wide of the deuce court, and the deuce wide court has got a high part of the net. So it's all kind of going together at the moment. Remember, don't start with the winners, start with the errors, otherwise you just won't get anywhere. Well, we can see here that Nadal's got pretty much the same balance as one of the greatest servers, Greg Ruzetsky. So we know if you know it's not balanced, it can only be one other thing. And if you look at the racket face, taking back, Nadal's hitting the ball with a slightly forehand grip, which is just not going to work for him. Now we know what his problem is. Have a look there. You can see the grip really clears out there. You can catch it. You probably caught some of your beginners and intermediates with a forehand grip, and you're likely to always going to find this, which is the arm and the racket going out to a contact which is too far in front, and also for a left-hander too far to the left. So they can never get the ball toss right because the whole action, that's why the grip is the most important thing to learn at the beginning of your tennis life. If your grip's wrong, your arm's going to be wrong, your arm's going to be wrong, your torso's going to be wrong, and your feet are going to be wrong, and so forth. You can see again the grip there and the racket going out in front. He hasn't got that snap with the wrist because the forehand grip, right hand grip, is just not good at this sort of thing. You could try using a forehand grip between the legs. And here is his smash. So what do you know? He didn't hit any smashes, so we didn't find that. But his smash has got the same grip. See with these upside down sister shots, the serve with a forehand grip is hard to keep down, and between the legs is hard to get up, so you end up hitting them both a long way in front. The serve is not a pushing action, it is a pulling action. You need a strong arm shape, like ball shots, but handshake and so forth. And then it's off to the practice court after having a clear discussion with your client.